Hi, Laura.
Hi.
So we are replacing Dan and Lee today on the podcast. I have a topic that I would like to chat to you about because I think it's something you're quite passionate about and you use like day to day and are quite influenced by it. TikTok.
Yes.
So we've talked before about how it like influences your life in terms of like
Yes.
decisions you make, things you buy, which is quite interesting so like I go on TikTok but I don't really buy anything off it. But I think you're of like a slightly different generation. You're like the Gen Z that is of that like TikTok generation. And I just think it's quite interesting how differently you use it like compared to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I know I come into the office with a new purchase every other week.
I love
And
it.
whenever you ask where it's from, it's always from TikTok. Either TikTok shop or being influenced by people on TikTok to buy something. So yeah, you could say that it's definitely used as a sort of shopping tool for me.
Do you shop elsewhere as well?
I do shop elsewhere, but I'd say if I'm looking for some sort of inspiration, for everything really, not even just shopping, then TikTok would be 100% the first place I turn to. Yeah, I'd say so good. It's actually changed the game for inspiration.
It's so weird because I know obviously this is like talked about in the news about like how Gen Z use it as like their search channel and whatever else. But I would still always go like to Google, or I would say like for fashion, I'd definitely go look at like certain magazine websites and fashion websites and da. I would never think to go like, oh, I'm going to go search on TikTok for like a wedding outfit or like a going out outfit. I would just never even occur to me.
That's so interesting because, yeah, it's the first place I would look.
Maybe I need to up my game.
I think it's just, it's more that sort of, user-generated content. There's not as many sort of typical influencers, like you see on Instagram, in like fashion magazines and things like that, where people are getting paid to sort of advertise a certain thing. With TikTok, it's more that kind of organic sort of influencers.
Do you find it a bit more trustworthy?
Yeah, definitely, because there are obviously influencers that get paid to advertise things, but most of the time the things that I come across are just sort of real life normal people who have came across something and they sort of want to share it with their community. So it is just more trustworthy because you know that people aren't being paid to promote a certain thing. It's just more trustworthy.
It is interesting, but then we were just talking just before we came on about this new widget that's come out, which is like a search tool for TikTok. So you were telling me about it. Is it a separate app?
So I think it's basically a widget you can add on to your home screen on your phone.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. I'm yet to do it. I only found out about it this morning, but
I
will.
Like breaking news as we came in.
I will definitely be adding it to my home screen on my phone. But yeah, I think it's just a sort of widget you add to your home screen. And it basically stops you having to open up the app to search something. So, breaking down that barrier to access, you can just open up your home screen on your phone and just search something as you would on the Google search widget.
And it searches just within TikTok.
And it searches just within videos on TikTok, yeah. So we were just talking this morning. It definitely opens up more of a conversation about SEO in terms of social media, because on TikTok, obviously you have the classic copy in the descriptions of your video like you do on everything else. But interestingly, on TikTok videos, you also have the sort of, the words to text.
Like the overlaying text, yeah.
Yeah, so whatever you're speaking, you can, when you make a TikTok video, you can choose to put the words over it, which I need to read up on it more, but I assume that will impact SEO as well.
I think that will, so I know a little bit about this. Obviously, we do like a lot of video content, and obviously subtitles have always been something that have been like encouraged, not just from an accessibility point of view, but also from an SEO point of view. Because if you have, particularly if you've got a video file and you've got say like a separate subtitles file, which you can sometimes upload on some platforms, that could be really beneficial for SEO. So it's interesting that that is now crossing over so much into TikTok as well, with them bringing out so much search.
Especially because TikTok is becoming more of a search engine for like the more Gen Z sort of generation. I know there was a study that said about, I think it was like 40% of Gen Z would use TikTok over Google, which I am definitely one of them as well. So
I mean, it's so... I can totally see it. Now, you saying like what you said about the type of content you find, I'm like, oh, maybe I would consider it for certain things, but surely there's like certain topics that you're still going to Google for.
I honestly would say you could search everything on TikTok. From, like, I've even cut my hair before myself just from watching a tutorial on TikTok.
Oh, you are braver than I am.
Yeah, there's everything, like fashion, even just eating out for dinner, what film to watch. I get film inspiration, book inspiration.
Yeah, books is a really big one now,
so good. Yeah. There's a lot of scope as well for travel inspiration. We actually just ran a campaign looking into how TikTok is influencing the way we are traveling. And we did find a correlation between the views a country had on TikTok to the increases in people searching for holidays to those destinations.
No way.
And it was really interesting because a lot of the countries were like really like not traveled to destinations. And yeah, we found from our research that the searches for holidays to those destinations did significantly increase following videos on TikTok going viral.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, that is very like trustworthy content.
Yeah.
'Cause it's good and easy, like a travel agent telling you, oh, this place is great, these are the things you can do.
Yeah.
That they might have just plucked out of a travel guide, but actually like seeing somebody do it and seeing like some first-hand real life footage definitely sells it in.
Yeah, it's not just the whole trustworthy side, it's as well, you get to see more of the inspiration. You get user-generated content of, for example, the travel destinations. You get people's first-hand videos of that they've took when they were there. They're all edited a little bit, but they're not edited in a sort of like promotional editorial.
Yeah, it's
sort
not
of
like
way.
watching an advert on telly for like a cruise ship where
exactly.
it doesn't feel like real life. It feels like some lovely dream, whereas actually the TikTok is very
and I think that's more sort of like eye-opening for you to see. You're more like, wow, that's stunning. I could go there and have the same views. And it's you get, obviously the trustworthy side is massive, but as well the range of content you get is just it's just good at giving you inspiration.
What about for work? Like if you have a question related to like your job that you need to look up, would you search that on Google?
I haven't, but I have used it for work. Obviously we do the PR campaign roundups, the marketing roundups each month for the blog on Flaunt. And I do actually get my inspiration from TikTok for a lot of those. There's quite a lot of marketing accounts on TikTok that I do follow, and they're really good for getting sort of campaign inspiration. So if we're having a brainstorm for a campaign, I will sometimes go on to TikTok, search for these marketing accounts and kind of see other campaigns, because the marketing people kind of sum them up, give key takeaways from the campaigns, and it's just a nice easy way for you to get a bit of inspiration.
I guess it's quite it is a digestible format, isn't it, rather than like trolling through ages of long form blogs where you've got to pick out the key pieces to understand what's going on. You've got like 30-second videos where you just pick it up in an instant, and it's not taking a lot of your time up either. It's
just saving a lot of time. It's so much more efficient. But with the question you just asked, whether I'd use it to kind of look at my job, I think if I was to look for a new job, or if I was to look for a kind of bit of a career change, I would use that. I think day in the life sort of videos of people working are really, really interesting, not just for kind of, you know, not just for seeing what kind of job you want to do, but it's just interesting to see what
like
other
getting
people
to know,
do.
like the business.
Yeah.
And like how a day actually looks, whether it is just somebody glued to a desk for 8 hours.
Because there's one thing, you know, writing a job description online, trying to sell your job to someone, but actually doing like a sort of, what I do in a day kind of video.
Yeah, well, it's definitely
Really
something
good
we've looked
content.
at. We've done like a
Yeah.
couple on the Flaunt one, and then we've talked about it for like future jobs, like for recruitment posts and stuff. Because I think it is, it's all well and good saying this is the list of things you'll be doing, but actually like showing it is much more digestible as well, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. And more trustworthy, more selling it.
Do you ever use TikTok on your computer or just on your phone?
Rarely use it on my computer. It's not as accessible.
Yeah, that's just the bit I find weird, like going to search something and always having to pick up my phone.
Yeah.
Like I quite like to like sometimes have like, especially when I'm working from home, whatever, I quite often like shut my phone in a different room.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, we worked on a campaign looking at using TikTok data. So I spent hours on TikTok and I felt like in the office I was just constantly on my phone. People were probably looking at me thinking do some work, but I was just on my phone.
It's all digital marketing.
Yeah. But the screen time on my phone as well from that week that I was doing that research was very high.
What is your normal like average screen time for TikTok? Do you know?
It has gone down since I've started going to the gym and reading. I honestly think it was like 3 hours a day.
What?
But if I'm kind of doing nothing on the weekend and I'm by myself, it honestly just skyrockets. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that dissimilar to sitting and watching like binging Netflix, is it?
But there is the whole argument of, you know, it's ruining our attention spans. And I kind of see that happening.
I mean, mine's not great on a normal day, but I think this is why I don't really let myself get too into TikTok, because I know full well like how my brain works and how I could very easily get sucked in, because I just know that will appeal to me and my short attention span.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie now and I'm like, I just want to pick up my phone and kind of have a quick sort of, be interesting to see how it kind of goes in the future. But obviously when it started, the platform was all about kind of like dancing. Yeah. Like it was a dancing platform, which I was always like really against it. Like I was like, oh no, that's not for me. But I think since lockdown, businesses have started using it. People have started using it as their own platforms to kind of promote themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's definitely becoming more of a promotional platform than just a silly dancing app.
Do you ever upload content?
Rarely. I only ever do when I'm going on holiday.
Oh, right, like a nice little,
Yeah, just more for my memories, really. Not to get likes and views. It's more just for me to have something to look back on. The only time I would upload content would be if I've come back from a holiday.
Well, I can get you on a few Flaunt ones, don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely look at making more of a sort of account on TikTok.